Good morning. Good morning. This is May 17th, 2020, and I love today's daily word. It's let go and let God. I let go and I trust the divine. Now this morning, that is not the title of my talk though, although we're actually talking about the same thing, and that is trusting in God. I want to talk about our role as faith keepers. In the Native American tradition, one member of the tribe assumes the role of faith keeper. This person's role is to remain at peace, centered in spiritual vision, no matter what events befall the tribe. Even if everyone else in the tribe slips into pain, fear, or dissension, the faith keeper is the one person the tribe can rely on as a lifeline to the presence. This is our role now. In the face of these strange times, it would be almost humanly impossible not to be moved and challenged. Yet there's a place within all of us that is always connected to our higher being. That is the place to go now. Your greatest contribution is your clarity, your sense of purpose, and your vision. The question is not, have you moved off your center? The question is, how quickly can you regain it? For years now, we've been studying the principles of spiritual truth. Now's the time to put them into practice. When things are going well, it's easy to find God. When things seem chaotic, it is harder. The strength we build by claiming divine order when it is utterly unapparent is paramount. Spiritual mastery is gained in times just like these. Now I'm going to read this morning from a few excerpts from a reading by Clarissa, Pincola, Estes, titled, "We Were Made for These Times." My friends, she says, do not lose heart. We were made for these times. I have heard from so many recently who are deeply and properly bewildered. They're concerned about the state of affairs in our world now. Ours is a time of almost daily astonishment. She goes on to say, and I am paraphrasing, I urge you, I ask you, I gentle you to please not spend your spirit dry by bewailing these difficult times. Especially do not lose hope. Most particularly because the fact is that we were made for these times. Yes, for years we've been learning, practicing, been in training for, and just waiting to meet on this exact plane of engagement. She says, I grew up on the Great Lakes and recognize a seaworthy vessel when I see one. Regarding awakened souls, there have never been more able vessels in the water than there are right now. And they are fully provisioned and able to signal one another as never before in the history of humankind. Look out over the prow. There are millions of boats of righteous souls on the waters with you. In any dark time, there's a tendency to veer toward fainting over how much is wrong or unmended in the world. Do not focus on that. There's a tendency, too, to fall into being weakened by dwelling on what is outside your reach, by what cannot yet be, Do not focus there. That is spending the wind without raising the sails. We're needed. That's all we can know. And though we meet resistance, we more so will meet great souls who will hail us, love us, and guide us. And we will know them when they appear. Didn't you say you were a believer? Didn't you say you pledged to listen to a greater voice? Didn't you ask for grace? Don't you remember that to be in grace means to submit to the voice that is greater? Ours is not the task of fixing the entire world all at once, but to mend the part of the world that we're able to reach. Any small, calm thing that you are able to do matters. It counts more than you could ever know. One of the most calming and powerful actions you can do to intervene in a stormy world is to stand up and show your soul. Soul on deck shines like gold in dark times. The light of the soul throws sparks, can send up flares, builds signal fires, causes proper matter to catch fire. Struggling souls catch light from other souls who are fully lit and willing to show it. If you would help to calm the storm, this is one of the strongest things you can do. Times when you feel there will certainly be times when you will feel discouraged. I have too. I have felt despair many times in my life, but I do not keep a chair for it. I will not entertain it. It is not allowed to eat from my plate. The reason is this. In my uttermost bones, I know something, as do you. It is that there can be no despair when you remember why you came to earth, who you serve, and who sent you here. The good words we say and the good deeds we do are not ours. They're the words and the deeds of the one who brought us here. In this spirit, I hope you will write this on your wall. Now listen. When a great ship is in harbor and moored, it is safe. There can be no doubt. But that is not what great ships are built for. Remember that. And I thank Dr. Pincola Estes for those words, but I want to go ahead and say a few other things this morning about faith. Didn't you say you were a believer? Don't you stand up on Sundays and affirm your faith? I have faith that God is my instant, constant, and abundant supply. Do you say that? Do you mean it? Are you a believer? Do you have faith or doubt? Perhaps you've been living the affirmation of doubt. And I want you to think about this too. I have doubt that God is my instant, constant, and abundant supply. Has that been your thought lately? I have doubt. I challenge you this morning to be a believer and to live your faith. I want to remind you again to remember who you are and why you came to earth. Who do you serve and who sent you here? Just remember this, stand proudly, and raise your sails. Thank you for your time.